Welcome to our Builder Innovator Summit Presenter Spotlights. My name is Sharnice Houston, Program Manager of the Builder Innovator team. And today we're excited to introduce our Finishes and Personalization Track Chair, Paul Deffenbaugh, President of Brook Media, LLC. Paul, thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me, Sharnice. Great to talk to you.
Absolutely. Can you tell us a bit about yourself and your experience in the home building industry?
Yeah, I've been around for a little while and had some kind of wild and varied experiences, but I'll start by telling you that I earned an undergraduate degree in philosophy and a graduate degree in fiction writing, so the only thing I could find as a career was to become a carpenter. So I started my life in home building as a carpenter. I started doing historic restoration and custom homes, and I did that for quite a number of years. Before I moved over to the editorial side with the trade publications and worked with Remodeling Magazine. I was editorial director for Professional Builder, and I've also been editorial director for some commercial construction magazines. So I've had this really weird and unique connection to the construction industry, but my passion and my heart has always been in the residential and the home building side.
Sounds good. You have a lot of various history in the industry, and that's really cool that you started off so different.
I did. Not many people come from the trades, and I'm a huge proponent of people learning a trade and going into the trades. We need more skilled workers.
Absolutely. From your experience, what would you say are some of the biggest challenges builders face when it comes to selecting finishes and personalization options?
I think one of the big overarching issues in the industry is always a cost issue. It's trying to understand and deliver to home buyers and communicate the value of what you're delivering them. We're too focused on cost, and it's really hard to explain quality and value to home buyers.
Yeah, no, that's a good point. I feel like that's a huge factor when it comes to what builders can offer, especially high volume builders. They make things like they have to come up with standards, and it's kind of hard to break out the mold when you have certain cost factors that are limiting you, and then also the supply and demand factors that are limiting you as well. So I completely understand that.
And I think home buyers, like all consumers these days, are skeptical about the messages they receive. And as we get more and more electronic messages that are delivered to us specifically based on algorithms, we have a right to become more skeptical about that stuff. So when I'm a home buyer and I'm working with a home builder to do product selection or design issues, I'm going to come in with some skepticism, and building that trust with them is going to be very difficult.
Looking towards the future, what emerging trends or innovations in finishes and personalization do you believe will have the greatest impact on builders?
And that's a tough one. That's a great question. Always, the only thing I ever know about predicting the future is I'll be wrong. So I will, I think that we do see some trends. I think that resilience is going to be a huge issue, even in interior finishes. We think of it in terms of exterior finishes, but the resilience of the building products we use and our expectation of how they perform in distressed environments is going to become more an issue. And alongside that will become the healthiness of the environment around us as we spend more and more of our time indoors are going to become even more. It's not like healthy homes have been are a brand new thing on the table, but it's going to become more important to people, especially after COVID.
Okay. Speaking of healthy homes, that's one of the topics that you'll be diving into at the summit, amongst other topics such as model homes, design centers, interior and exterior finishes. With those, what are some of the top takeaways that you hope that the builders will take from those sessions?
Well, the goal, I think, of any kind of a seminar that you attend is to walk away with 2 or 3 actionable items that you can take back to your place of business and put in place, and that you can trust that somebody's tried them, that they actually work, and it's not just theoretical. So what I'd like to see people walk away from is a kind of a new understanding of how they can approach their home buyers in working on selecting finishes and products that has a more of a kind of a retail approach, as opposed to just come in, walk through these 450 selections. We'll tick them off as you go along, but recognize that when they're making those decisions, they're making decisions about the environment they want to live in, the lifestyle they want to live, and that the home buyer has a value that they can add to that process and not just be passive about it. They can be active and add to that process in a much more, I think, consumer retail oriented fashion.
Yeah, that's a good point that you brought up. I'm glad that you mentioned that you hope that builders get to take a couple tools away, and that one thing that really stands out about our summit is that we like to bring the builder's perspective. So on each of your sessions, we like to have a builder sit on it and provide commentary from their point of view and their perspective of things that they've tried, or maybe even that they're hesitant to try, so that we can just really break it down on the panel, just kind of talk about the risk, the things that didn't work, the things that did work, just from that builder's perspective. So I appreciate you bringing that up.
I think in the environment we work in the skeptical environment, and I've always kind of felt this, that builders really only believe what other builders have told them, because they only really trust the people who've been in their shoes. And that's not to dismiss the really incredible depth of expertise that other folks bring to and can help provide home builders, but they want to see how it worked. How did you implement this in your business, and not just, as I said earlier, a theory?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, thank you so much, Paul. I really appreciate you taking the time out of your busy day to sit with me and show this video to our viewers.
Great. Thanks, Shanice. Always fun to talk to you.
Absolutely. Right. So for our viewers, please stay tuned for more presenter interviews. And we look forward to seeing you at the summit in April. All right. Have a good one.